Hello, my name is Janine Pittman, and my partner, Heidi Cooper, is going to do our presentation on binge eating disorder. While researchers have not identified exact binge eating disorder causes, several factors are thought to play a part in binge eating disorder. The combination of cause and risk factors varies from person to person, but possible factors are included of these lists below. Some of it is genetic, dieting, restriction, or irregular eating patterns, history of significant weight changes, depression, agony, experiences of weight stigma, problems with family or other significant relationships, significant trauma loss experiences, emotional, physical abuse or neglect, addiction to drugs and alcohol, and sexual trauma. According to the DSM-5 book, binge eating disorder is characterized by several behavioral and emotional signs or symptoms. Some as listed below, such as recurrent episodes of binge eating occurring at least once a week for 3 months, eating a large amount of food than normal during a short time frame, any 2-hour period, lack of control over eating during the binge episode, feeling that they can't stop eating or control how much they are eating. Binge eating episodes are associated with 3 or more of the following: eating until feeling uncomfortably full, eating large amount of food but not physically hungry, eating much more rapidly than normal, eating alone out of embarrassment over quantity eaten, feeling disgusted, depressed, ashamed, or guilty after overeating. Here is a list of different complications that could come with binge eating. People with binge eating disorder have these risk factors if they don't control or get any help, such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, gallbladder disease, heart disease, certain cancers, or they can have depression, acne, or sleep apnea, and others that is listed on this chart. Now what we want to do is show you a video of an individual who suffered with binge eating disorder. This gentleman shared his story, how the disease started with him in his childhood, and how he overcame the binge eating disorder once he seeked help. So we hope that you enjoy the video.
There is a story of a Navajo grandfather who told his grandson, "Two wolves live inside of me. One is full of greed and laziness, jealousy, and anger and regret. The other is full of joy and kindness and love for the world. Always these wolves are fighting inside of me." "But grandfather," the boy said, "which one will win?" The grandfather answered, "The one that I feed." I think of all the addictions that are out there, and eating addiction is one of the hardest to overcome because it's necessary to live. It's hard for somebody who had trouble with it to differentiate what you needed to do versus what you wanted to do. Food became a real powerful thing for me. It's me standing here in the kitchen, 2:30 in the morning, and I'm not feeling very good about myself. Had a really rough day at work and not able to sleep today, and this is what I'm staring at. I'm trying really hard not to go in there. Sometimes this sickness just really controls me. Where most of this started was probably, I would say, around 3 or 4 years old. You know, my mother did some inappropriate things with me when I was 4. When she came home late at night, I'd be in my room and I'd hear her, and I'd just, I'd want her to just come and see me. Most of the time she didn't want to deal with it, so there was a pretty wide gap under my door, and she used to just shove sandwiches under the door. Instead of giving me a hug, I got a sandwich, so. To this day, sandwiches are like one of my biggest comforts. If they serve bread with dinner and I'm having chicken parmesan, I'm gonna put it on the bread and make a sandwich out of it. I can remember times as a kid, half hour before my mother was making dinner, I would sneak a couple peanut butter and jelly sandwiches down to the garage and then come up and eat dinner. I would just sit on these steps in the garage here. Door would be closed, and then I would sneak back out. Because of the abandonment, all I wanted was acceptance. It was about 3rd grade, and this one kid said, "I can eat more pizza than you." So all the kids in my class divided up their 2 slices of pizza between us, and I went through it, and I heard people cheering. I think it was more laughter for them, but acceptance for me. Food's not the answer. Food is a necessity of life. It's not going to solve your problem. I got a page from home, and then I got a 911 page. My dad answers the phone, and he says my brother Paul had died. He was 32 years old. And every time I talk about this, it drives me crazy. That sent me out of control, that one. It took me probably well over 2 hours to get here, but not before I stopped at the fast food restaurant. So while I looked at the receipt, I didn't even know what I had. 3 Big Macs, 2 large fries, a couple cheeseburgers. I think I had a 20-piece nugget, and that was less than a mile from here, and I ate it before I got here. Sometimes it doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes it's a period of 2 hours, but it's just constant. It's more of grazing, they would call it. Most of the times where I was in that kind of zone, it was more euphoric for me. There was no rational thought. It's almost like a drug addict getting that first hit or first high. Once I was done, I'd be like, oh, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? Start putting myself down, and the negative voices would start talking to you. And then it got to the point where, you do it again because you felt guilty for doing it the first time, so you did it again. There'd be times where I'd be in the middle of a good run with getting healthy and exercising, and I would tell my wife, I was trying to resist it, but it was almost like it was just grabbing my shirt and ripping me to it, Like you lose control. You'll do anything to get the food, The last straw for me was it started affecting my job. I was in the front cube and my back was faced to everybody, and all day long, all I thought was people were laughing at me. Just all day long. And I had a nervous breakdown, right there at work. They gave me 30 days to get into a treatment facility. I told them that's what I needed to do. My wonderful wife found a place in Arizona. This place taught me no matter what you eat, as long as it fits into your daily exchanges for that meal, it's okay. This is an example of a meal plan. This is the very important part to staying focused. Even if you have months and months and months of writing these, never wing it. The steady decline of weight will happen if you follow it. For somebody with binge eating, face whatever it is you need to face, because if you don't, you'll remain sick. I'm in a silly mood today. I was thinking about the time when I came home from treatment. I had lost enough weight to ride a bike for my first time since I was 15 years old. It's driving me to keep on working and to keep going. I had 3 goals for myself when I left treatment. Be able to ride a bike again, I did that one. Be able to ride a roller coaster and fit on it, that's my next goal. And the last one is to have a child. After a year and a half in treatment, I now feel like that second wolf. I find myself to be more gentle and giving. The tools that I've learned help me to no longer feed that wolf that I was before. If I can share my story, which helps me, if it helps one person get help, that makes it worth it.
So I hope you enjoyed that video. It was a wonderful, I'm glad I found this video because I really enjoyed how he told the story from the beginning until the end and how the ending is successful, and it shows that a person that suffers with this disease can overcome it. It does not have to control their life. It does not have to dictate who they are in the future. So I'm glad that his ending was successful and that he was able to overcome and he realized that he does have a future and the goals that he has, that he's willing to keep going until he accomplishes them. Thank you for listening to my part of the presentation. The next part is going to be the presentation by Heidi Cooper. She's going to go over her part of continue on giving more information on binge eating disorder. Thank you.